This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th Annual LD Micro Main Event in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Brady Granier from BioCorRx, a publicly traded company with the symbol BICX. Brady, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on. So for our audience, let's catch them up. Well, firstly, let's do an overview, and then we'll catch them up on what's been going on in the company.
Okay. Well, BioCorRx, we're in the addiction treatment space. The company's been around for about 5 years, and we deal mostly in the field of Naltrexone therapy. And it's a FDA-approved product. And we don't own the Naltrexone, but it's a treatment. It's a medication that's used for the treatment of alcoholism and opioid abuse, and a big epidemic out there right now. But we specialize in the long-form Naltrexone therapy, sustained release, coupled with counseling and support for treating the patient holistically underneath medication-assisted treatment, MAT. That's the big buzz in the industry, the term in the industry now for the treatment of medication of addiction using medications and therapy. So we play in that space, and we have two different products that we have in that space that we deal with.
So we last did an interview with Lord S., the COO of the company, in January earlier this year. So what's been going on at the company since that interview?
Gosh, I mean,
do we have time?
No, we don't have time for that. But the most fascinating thing this year is in the summertime, we acquired some technology from a company that was patented in June, underlying delivery system that we licensed the rights for worldwide for the use of naltrexone in treating addiction. And that product, currently right now, we're in preclinical. We're starting animal studies on December 22nd of 2016, and we expect to have the preliminary results in January, and we're planning for a meeting with the FDA in February or March of early next year to present the data and hoping to fast-track this product through the FDA approval process under 505(2)B, which is a fast-tracking of the products. Naltrexone is very safe. We're just approving a different delivery of it, and we're developing an injectable that should last at least a month, but be able to be delivered subcutaneously or even in a small muscle injection.
So I have a couple follow-up questions to this. Firstly, what was the criteria that the technology that you purchased in over the summer, what was it about it that made it so interesting for you guys to bring it in and start to develop?
Yeah, it was one of those things that because we were in the naltrexone space, we know people in the space, and we came across this little company that had this delivery technology that can really get particle sizes down very small and condense, so it's less of a volume of injection than what's currently on the market, which would be less painful, smaller needles, etc., maybe even last longer. And we were intrigued by that technology and saw the growing space for injectable naltrexone. There's a company out there now that has one on the marketplace, and they're growing. Our product, assuming it does what we discovered in the lab, which we're very confident will be a different version of that we think is going to be much better and more efficient to produce and less scary for patients to take, because it's going to be a smaller needle, smaller volume. So because we played in that space, we understood what this company had in that technology and decided to make a move and acquire it. We received $2.5 million from Alpine Creek in the summer. We used a lot of that money to acquire this technology and develop it the rest of the year. And we're really looking forward to next year to getting into the different phases of clinical trials and fast track this thing through approval. So we're very excited about this product.
So for those who may not know, can you catch us up on what exactly naltrexone is used for? Like what is that treating exactly?
Well, naltrexone is a non-addictive medication that's been approved since 1984 or 85 for the treatment of addiction. It was in a pill form, but patients never took it. It was a once-a-day pill, lack of compliance, even though it worked really well. So doctors didn't hear about it, pharmaceutical companies didn't push it, there was no money in it, people didn't take it. These deliveries, if you can get naltrexone in someone for a sustained period of time, what it does is it will stop their cravings in many cases for alcohol or opioids, which includes heroin, OxyContin, Vicodin. But more importantly, with stopping the cravings for opioids, it can block the effects, which means it blocks the overdose. Everyone hears of Narcan and Naloxone, the antidote when someone overdoses. That's great, that saves their lives, but what's the long-term treatment? Naltrexone is a long-term. It's a cousin of this naloxone, but it's long-lasting, and it can prevent someone from overdosing. So it binds to the receptors in the brain, the same receptors that those opioids go to. It has a higher affinity, a higher magnetism for them, and it blocks them, and it doesn't allow that opioid to get in there to give that suppression of their respiratory system, which can cause the overdose.
So Brady, what's your background? How did you get into all this?
Funny. It kind of came full circle. I have a healthcare background initially. I was a registered nurse, and I was in the ER, ICU, critical care units. Treated addiction a lot in that space. Have addiction in my family. Most people do, unfortunately. And actually left that career in the late 90s and went into media. And I went to Clear Channel, which is now iHeartMedia. And I climbed the ladder there, became a director of business development, and I managed some of their radio stations that they had. Kiss FM in Los Angeles, one of the largest in the country. I was one of the managers for that station. But I was always the healthcare category person for Clear Channel because of my background. So all the health-related clients for advertising came to me to vet out. And that's how I discovered this technology from a clinic that was treating patients in Orange County. And I was brought in to look at that business, and they became an advertiser of our company. And I ended up investing in the company because what they were doing was truly fascinating, and then started getting more and more involved. And long story short, they asked me to come and run the company as COO back in 2013. So I left my corporate job, came back into healthcare full circle, combined both experiences. And sometimes you just land in a place you never expect, but it's a great cause. We've treated many patients. We've saved a lot of lives. That's part of the reward. So it's a really good combination of a feel good, a mission along with some, there is some profit at the end of the tunnel for all this work. But it really is a feel good opportunity, and I jumped at the opportunity and ended back up in healthcare.
Brady, just to quickly sum up, so you guys are developing a new drug delivery system for Naltrexone, and on that, if that's correct, do you require FDA approval for something like this?
Very good question. You don't need to have FDA approval for this product. It could be made under compounding laws. Compounding is a big part of medical treatment, but there are barriers to that. Having that stamp of FDA approval for consumers and for doctors is huge. Insurance acceptability, it helps that out. It's not a mandate, but it does help it out. So there's a lot of pros to that, more expense to that, but it's also wider distribution and marketability of it, because if you're FDA approved, you can market the drug. So it opens up it's the route to go if you can go that route. But we don't have to for this kind of product. We could actually sell it under compounding laws now and take it to market immediately. And that's always an option for us if something were to occur, but that's not the plan. We really feel strongly that this is a new delivery system of Naltrexone that can be approved very rapidly. So yes, it's an approval of Naltrexone in a different form or delivery form. Naltrexone's already been approved since 1985 in the oral form, and then a different injectable in 2005.
Okay, so from what you can tell me, what are some of the goals and milestones for the company in the first half of 2017?
Well, goals would be, and we talked about this in a shareholder call earlier in the year, we would love to uplist. That is probably every stock's goal. So we are working on those plans. But the ultimate plan is to get into those phases of the clinical trials. Well, hopefully we can skip a few phases through the fast-tracking route because of the opioid crisis and the safety profile of this drug. So we're really hoping to be able to get closer to approval and even entertain partnerships or acquisitions from other companies that want to come in and take us over or partner with us, and that's what we're looking for in 2017. Should be a pretty exciting year for us, a very busy one.
And where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
BioCorRx.com, BICOCORRX.com is our corporate website. And then for our consumer site is beataddiction.com. If people want to learn more about our recovery program that we offer to treatment providers, there's a lot of information there for consumers.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th Annual LD Micro Main Event in Bel Air, California. With me again is Brady Granier from BioCorRx, publicly traded company with the symbol BICX. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.